Hey YouTube, it's Tom. Welcome back to the car journey. Just a little update video. I hadn't done one, especially with me on camera in a while, and figured it was time because things are changing, and I figured it'd be a good time to kind of share those things because I'm going to start a new series, and it's of personal interest to me. Maybe some of you will find it useful, like some of you did for the Honda Civic Type R. And of course, this is going to be something a little different. So it's going to be about this car, which is my new to me, I almost just fell there, 2023 Mazda Miata MX-5 Club Edition. It's a BBR car, which means it had the BBS wheels, which are stacked back there, the Brembo brakes, which you can see down there, and of course the Recaro seats. And so far, I've had this car a couple weeks, and it's stock. The only thing that's changed, obviously, is the wheels and tires are borrowed from a buddy of mine, Paul, and I changed the brakes. So the brakes are some Pagid RSL29s, front and rear. They're supposed to be an endurance pad, but they seem to work really well. Got that on advice of my buddy Andrew, who suggested it. I was a little skeptical, but I figured I'd give it a shot. At least I could yell at them if they were terrible, and they were not. They were fantastic. So using those right now, and they work well on the street. Drove this car to the office the other day, and no complaints even in a little bit of traffic, and definitely no complaints on just the open highway. So what's going on here? So there's the Supra back there, as you can see. Supra's been a lot of fun. The build's been pretty interesting. It was my first car with aero, and I wanted to build a car that kind of tried to, set some really fast lap times at my local track. Originally, I was targeting something that was the best I'd ever done on race tires, on street tires. So that was going to be in the 126s, preferably a 126.8. And this car, after 2.5 seasons, a little less than 2.5 seasons of development, I got down to a 123.4, which is, of course, far exceeding the original target. And this car has just been amazing. It's only had one issue, and I bought it that way, where the Vanos system needed to be replaced on the intake side. And so I went ahead and serviced both the intake and exhaust Vanos just to be sure. And that was it. That's the only thing I've had, above maintenance done to this car. Had it on track quite a bit, and it's been to 6 different tracks, and it's just been fast at all of them. And if it wasn't, it was my fault. So the problem with this car has been, and why this Miata is here, is that basically the Supra was really good on track, and when I made it really work on track, it meant spring rates that were pretty high. And so spring rates, we're talking, for me, almost 800 pounds in the front and 1,500 pounds in the rear. And our local parking lot that we do most of our SCCA autocrossing on, called in Farmington, New Mexico, called McGee Park, it doesn't have a lot of grip. It used to be kind of a medium to high asphalt surface. Now I'd say it's medium at its best, but it's been resealed, so it's kind of got this unique characteristic, and it just hasn't served that car well with those spring rates. So what could I do? I could back off the spring rates, probably go to something like 11 kg in the front, and maybe back to 20, 22 in the back kg rear. So that's what, 500 or 550 in the front, probably 500, and then something the equivalent of like 1100, 1200 in the rear. And because it's divorced, that sounds crazy high, but it's not really. And I think that would get it in the window of kind of the maximum of what Farmington would work. It would still kind of work on the track, but it would definitely slow it down. I mean, I put quite a bit of aero there, and the track's not very fast, but it is pushing down on the car, and that would just ruin kind of all my efforts, and I'm not interested in that. I want an autocross car. So what do you get when you want an autocross car? Well, there's lots of choices, but Miata's a pretty safe one, especially our local lot. Kind of the way with the poles, it kind of ends up being almost like a runway, 3 separate runway courses as we run between the poles that are on the site. So it's really hard to build a course that doesn't work for an AST or formerly STR Miata. So that's what we're going to do here. And so as you heard, the car is pretty stock. So there's going to be a lot of changes. And so most of those have been ordered. They're coming. And I never really wanted to be a how-to channel because that doesn't interest me. I don't really actually enjoy the work that much. I just like the results, and I like knowing it's done right, and I like learning things. I like understanding how things work. If you've known me a while, you know I built one of these when they first came out. So in 2015, I bought a Club Miata, and I ran that in STR until 2018, and I sold it to a friend. And kind of always wished I'd kept it in some ways, but I also wanted to experience other things. So here we are, full circle. What is this, 7 years later after selling it? I bought another one. I'm going down a very different path. Like, I wanted the Recaros because I don't want to do race seats. I wanted the Brembos because I just want to buy brake pads. I don't really want to do much else. And so here we are. Plans for this car, we've already got, I forgot, we do have a header back. It's an OSG Remark exhaust I got from Shaftworks. So it's from exactly where the stock header ends. It goes all the way back, so it replaces the secondary cat, and it's perfect, man. The thing is good. It's not too loud. I think with the header, it'll push probably a little bit of limits of what, you know, civilized comfort driving is, but I'm told that this will easily pass the sound at Laguna Seca on places that have the low 90s dBs at track and autocross. So should be good. Just louder than, you know, I had some other cars, but I think I'll be okay with that. And of course, I talked to my buddy Brian Carwin at Karcepts, and this is getting the full Karcepts treatment, which is, I asked Brian, hey, I've been out of the loop for a while. What should I put on this car? Like, what's going to work? He gave me some suggestions. So we're going to do some MCS coilovers. We'll get into those when they arrive and get on the car, but we're going to do 3 ways on the front, 2 ways on the back. That means they're the external remotes. And we're of course going to do his sway bars with the subframe reinforcement on the front. So front Karcepts bar, front Karcepts sway bar reinforcement, and then of course the rear bar. And we have a header from JDL, supposedly going to ship today. We'll see. So we'll add a JDL and also have Karcepts, Brian Carwin, tune the car since that's a setup he's familiar with, and he's got a really solid tune. So we're going to do all of that. So the car will basically have, you know, the guts of 90% plus of what you need to be fast in AST, so A street touring. And we'll have most of that on there probably by the next autocross September. I don't plan to run this car because I'm not going to have the tires. I just, at some point you got to draw the line of where you're spending, and I just don't have the funds to continue to buy tires into this late part of the season. Luckily, I have some friends that run the same size I need, so see that old stack there of 245, 40, 17 Yokohamas. I've got 2 sets of those from my buddy Pablo. That's the more worn set in terms of heat cycles. So that'll go on some FM wheels that I got. I got 17x9 FM Kogeki, I think is how you say it. Wheels that we'll put those on. And that'll get us started. We'll probably run a track day like that. And maybe some fun runs at autocross. And then he's got another set with a bit less heat cycles that after the first autocross and Super Lap, we'll put those on. And they're probably closer to, you know, 95% pace, 90% pace, because they have at least 6, I think, heat cycles less. So they should be a little quicker than that particular set back there. And we're going to run it from there. So the question and the big elephant in the room is, what do I do with that car? You know, what do I do with the Supra? And the answer is I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure my heart's leaning towards selling it, as tough as that's going to be for me, because that's been a very special car for me. It just doesn't align with my goals right now. So I think I really want to get an RV, tow with an RV. This car with my lightweight enclosed trailer stays under that 5,000 pounds with this car in it, with the Miata in it. So we can go do that. I also do fishing, have a small boat. It can pull that. And so when I put the Supra in there with its stuff, we're closer to 5,700 pounds. So not comfortably on that 5,000-ish limit of the E350 chassis for Class C RVs. So I think, I don't know. I think the days are numbered for that car, and I might put it up for sale here pretty soon. Not something I'd planned on, but like I said, I just love that car. But at some point, I've never been one to keep cars very long, and this one's been about 3 years in September, and so I think it might be time. But if you're interested, let me know. But great car. Learned a lot. I really knew nothing about aero, and so became friends with so many people that really understood how it works, how to make all the parts work together, and it's been a journey with that car. But yeah, you know, doing speeds into turn 2 at the local track I never thought I'd see on street tires from a street car. I mean, that's genuinely a street car. Air conditioning, power steering, radio, all that good stuff is still there. And so yeah, I drive it to work. The only issue is when it's on these 295/30s, it's pretty low. About to swap on the 295/35s, which will raise it up that ½ inch, which will make quite a difference for clearance on the road. But yeah, so that's where we're at. Next videos you'll probably see will mostly be featuring the Miata for a while. Hopefully you're interested and don't you know, stop following along just because you're not a Miata guy. I know there's a million of them out there. I hear it all the time. Everyone has a Miata. I'd say there's a reason, you know, what you get, what you pay for, and the performance. And I'll tell you what, the ND2 compared to my old ND1 is a big change. The engine is so much better. And that's even before I've done the things that'll give me 15, 18 wheel horsepower improvements and a noticeable bump in low end torque, especially at that low RPM range. So I'm excited to see what that's all about. And yeah. Anyway, that's where we're at here at the Car Journey. Hope you stick around, and we'll see you in the next one.